Yes, yes, yes. We back again. Y'all see the title. I'm gonna wait till y'all flood in. We go catch this coverage of this big, beautiful bill. Live coverage. Liberal meltdown. Y'all see what's going on. Yeah, thanks for being here. Y'all see what's going on. Yeah, they in the house trying to figure out. I don't know how they gonna twist this bill. I don't know if it's gonna be some pork in it or what, but allegedly this bill is supposed to be big and beautiful. Yeah, we go get into it. So we go get into live coverage. So just hold tight, y'all. Just hold tight. And make sure you like and share the video. Make sure you like and share the video because if this bill pass, oh man, it's gonna be hell on earth, man. They barricading the White House and everything. So hold tight. I'm just sharing the video. Make sure y'all like and share the video when y'all come in. I was gonna go on at like 10:55. I might have to take this meat off the grill to run it upstairs, but we still gonna continue with the show. You feel me? We still gonna continue with the show. So let me put this on right here quick. So it's at 50. It's at 59. So they need about five. How many votes they need to get this bill passed? Somebody put it in the comment section. Let me see something. Let me pin this video to my page. Let me pin this video to my page. Man, because it's like, it seems like when I turn on the news, man, the Democrats is just, they bugging out over this bill. Like, you know what I'm saying? It might have some pork in it. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's in that damn bill. I just keep on hearing it that it's big and beautiful. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, there's some stuff in it that's gonna lighten the load, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I trust Mr. T, man. I ain't fall off or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Some people done fell off the gravy train, and guess what? A lot of people, uh, a lot of people are looking like hypocrites for real right now. A lot of people. So let's get back into it. We just wait. We just waiting at this point. But when it comes to this No Kings 2, it's gonna be because of this. If this passed, there would be a No Kings 2. If this doesn't pass, I don't think that will happen. But I believe some of this stuff got to deal with the birthright citizenship and all that. And a lot of immigrants, a lot of migrants, they are upset, y'all. And they lightweights trying to start a race war because folks ain't help, especially black folks. Black folks ain't helping them. Black folks is out of this one. Tell you that right now. But like I said, they want some support from the black community. Shit, they ain't getting it. They want to undercut and get all these damn benefits. They want to come in here and have anchor babies and get all kind of incentives. That shit about to get shut down in this bill, and I'm pretty sure that's why. They gonna start rioting and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's why. And I don't even know what's in the bill, but how they got this shit barricaded. Yeah, there's something in that bill that they don't like. They don't like that name Bill. Boss. They don't like that name Boss Man Bill. All right. Boss Man Bill ain't coming to play today, and they doing this shit on a Saturday afternoon. So yeah, what is in that bill, y'all? That's making everybody so disgruntled. Now let's get into this right quick. They barricaded. Hold on, let me get this off the damn screen. Let me remove that. Because if they trying to get over the White House line, you know what's gonna happen to them? You know what's gonna happen to these people? If they try to hop over this fence, they try to hop over this barbed wire fence, man, it's over. They gonna get lit up. They gonna get lit up. It's just see, look at that big, beautiful monument. If they trying to get over that, they gonna get sniped. It's gonna look like a damn zombie movie out there, or what they call purging. I think the purge about to come when the liberal meltdown kick in. The purge is gonna come. This is why, yeah, they don't want people in masks anymore. You wear a mask in 2025, they gonna look at you funny. But in 2020, it was all good. You could come out like this with the mask on. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. And guess what? A lot of this stuff is going on in Texas. Yes, it is. A lot of this stuff is going on in Texas, y'all. Let me show you. Matter of fact, what the heck is this? Hold on. There's some news right here? Because it seemed like the Hollywood actors that are screaming free Palestine, they getting hurt. They getting hurt right now. They getting X'd out. Look, Azalea Banks. Let me pull this up. I don't know if y'all know the rapper Azalea Banks. Let me get this off the screen. This is just trending topics, you know what I'm saying? We just going over some things, but shit, this what you go see. This is what you go see. Nothing. You don't know who's behind this mask. You don't know who's lying behind this mask, y'all. And that's the enemy of the state right there. The Baphomet. As above, so below. And like I said, when you ready to go to war, you don't know who you fighting. You don't know you don't know who's behind this mask. This could be Lindsey Graham behind this mask. Shit, this could be Will Smith, Chris Rock behind you. You don't know who's behind this thing right here. All right, and who's paying this entity? Who's paying? Probably American tax dollars. But I think Trump shut that water down. He's shutting that pipeline down. But I'm just pulling up the analytics, man. We've been screwed for a long time. And hopefully, in this big beautiful bill, there's something in it for us. But like I said, we went over it before. The big beautiful bill really consists of a whole security system, y'all. It's what's in the bill. I already know what's in the bill, but there's a whole cleanup operation in that bill too, and a whole transfer of wealth into the hands of the Republicans. But I believe shit, they not trying to go all balls deep. You know what I'm saying? They not trying to go balls deep with this bill. As you can see, it's 50-46, I believe. Is it still at 50? Let's pull this up. Yeah, it's still at 50, y'all. We gonna watch it. I might get off the screen for a little bit, but till something till something pop off. If it pop off 49, if it get to 49, we are, you know what I'm saying? That's when it's gonna comb over. Then we got something to talk about. But like I said, I believe this bill coincides with those barricades that they putting up, installing anti-crime barricades. A lot of people going to jail uh, when this regime change fully comb over. When it fully switch, Man, people better run to God because that devil gonna be on your ass. I'm telling you that right. If you're not legit, if you're not legitimate, you're screwed in this new world. If you're not aligned with what they say Christ, you're not gonna make it, family. You just not. You dealing with the wrong people. Guess what this is? This is the Jewish menorah, y'all. We went over this too a long time ago. This a whole religious order right here in this house. A representative. This is the house, and the black people that come to this house, they house Negroes. These are the free slaves of the corporation. They get to come in the house and shit, and state state their problems and stuff. So every slave owner represents a house or a state, and this is all designed around religion. Hold on, we got some action. We got some action. Hold on, y'all. We got some action. Let me remove this. We got some action. Hold on. Just heard something. I just heard something. 47. See, it's getting the numbers is getting real close. 47. It's go past. You know what I'm saying? It's go past. You already know it's go past because he's holding the torch. It's go past, y'all. 47. I don't know how many we need, but when we get it, you know, we streaming it live and direct. What the heck? Let's type in this. Hold on, because I wanted to show y'all something too. Because let's go back into that Azalea Banks, man, about what she said about these Palestines, talking about free Palestine. Everything's political now. I advise if you a certain type of entertainer or music artist, stay out of the political arena because this go destroy your career. I don't care what side you on. But if you're on the side of America, you can get away with it. If you're a Trump supporter, you could most likely get away with it now. But back then, your stuff would have been pulled. You would have been shunned. You'd have been talked about. But I think it's safe to say, we in clear waters. But man, if you depending on what type of venues you try to go to, you might get shut down because you with the red party, and then you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Uh, Let me pull this up. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. Azalea Banks, rapper pulled out of music festival for alleging they wanted to make free Palestine statements on stage. You see what's going on. This been happening a lot. And it looked like she got some face work done too. She's a nobody, but like I said, they go. This is what Black Hollywood got to do. You know what I'm saying? They got to make anti-Israel, statements and shit just to stay in the loop, man. You know what I'm saying? We was talking bad about that city a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a hit piece. You know what I'm saying? We exposed what they was doing a long time ago. But the thing is, people didn't know how to articulate themselves when describing what was going on, because it's good versus evil at the end of the day. Israel just a scapegoat for the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So if something go wrong, we could just blame it on Israel and all. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. That's the stuff they was doing. That's the stuff is manufactured like that. Okay, for a reason. And guess what? It's all structured for you to fail when you go against that city state for some odd reason. You know what I'm saying? You go full tard on them, you go full tard on that subject, you cook. Never go full tard. You should be able to explain stuff, you know what I'm saying? But people can't do it. The internet go expose people who can't fucking do it. All right? It just is what it is. Who is this? It's your boy. What's his fucking name? I don't forgot. I told you I don't forgot a lot of people's name. Who is this? I don't forgot a lot of people's name. And I know his name too. That's bad, ain't it? My memory is shot. My memory is shot. I swear to God it is. Hey, guess what? What did he say? Because he's part of the Black Guy Club too. I don't know if you remember. He was part of the Black Guy Club too. That's bad. I can't remember his name. I might be going through Alzheimer's. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been having like bad headaches and all toothaches and shit. I might just need to schedule a dentist appointment, man. For real, my shit be hurting. I had to take all kind of oral gel today and all that, man. Yeah. So if you suffering from some shit, man, go to the doctor, man, for real. If it's like bad, it ain't bad right now. That's why I hopped online. But shit, I've been having to take all kind of headache pills and shit like that. But we straight right now. Well, yeah, let's get back into this. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, just another trending topic. We just waiting. Gonna fold back into that. See what's going on. We already exposed Candace Owens. She's a dude dirty. I guess they giving Tucker Carlson a pass. They giving MTG a pass, and people gave Elon Musk a pass. Uh, mm, mm. This is crazy, and I'm gonna bring this up right here. Let's pull this up. There's something that's going on, and this is why I said, man, don't claim that out of Africa theory, cause shit, Democrats is coming up with conjuring up all kind of shit like they ass about to get sent back to Africa type shit. So they go create some type of protest in spite of people being tied to the out of Africa theory. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. Trust me. Trust me. And the thing is, they can flip it any kind of way. If black people think they from Africa, shit, ICE should come get your dumb ass. That's what you know what I'm saying? So shit, I'm gonna be honest with you. If things go left field, if things become radical, yeah, it could pop off like that, especially if these liberals is pushing that ideology. That's what's wrong with people. It's their ideology. You can have any belief that you want to, but if your ideology is screwed up, oh yeah, somebody's gonna take advantage of that. Trust me. And these are the counterparts right here. We ain't going nowhere. Black immigrants left out California's depopulation protest. So, guess what? FBA, Foundational Black Americans, they waking up to all this, immigration policy. But there's another side pushing back against it. The African Americans, or what they call the Buffalo Soldiers. Basically, the Irish, the rich Irishmen hired Africans to be in their military to take over indigenous natives from the Americas. Yes, those are the Buffalo Soldiers. People that were brought here to be in their army to take over the indigenous land. That's been documented. But you get an out of Africa slave theory. And a lot of people believe that timeline. That never happened. It what most people think happened, it never happened, yo. And that was to keep you stupid and dumb. Now let's get back to it's all designed to keep you stupid. Let's see. Let's check on 47. It's still 47. 4750. 4750. 8050. Chuck roast. We need that. We need that 8020. That's what we need. We need that 8020. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see what else is going on. I've been on True Social like crazy. I've been on True Social like crazy. Shouts out to True Social, y'all. Tom Homan. What did Tom Homan say? What did he say? Hold on. What man? What did? Hold on. What the hell? What's Tom Homan going through? Let's pull this up. Tom Homan going through some shit right now. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Tom Homan going through some shit right now. Tom Homan. We need to pray for borders are Tom Homan. We know how violent the Dems can be. He said, my wife is living separately from me right now, mainly because I work many hours, but mostly because of the death threats against me, he said. She's someplace else. I see her as much as I can, but the death threats against me and my family are outrageous. I bet. Shit, you got cartels and all that looking for his family, man, trying to dox him and all that, man. They got to duck off in a hotel, but they straight. They got that governmental funding, for protection and stuff. They straight. You know what I'm saying? They living good. Tom Homan doing a hell of a job. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Him being away from his wife is probably eating him alive, but I'm pretty sure his wife knows it's for the good of humanity. Where are we going right here? Who's on my? Oh, we did that episode last night, man. What happened to Michelle Obama? It seemed like her face, what I'm saying, it's sliding down like a cheese pizza for some odd. You see how it's sliding down like a cheese pizza? You see how it's all uplifted right here like Christ, and now it's the cheekbones is just dragging on the floor. At this point, you can see the skin mask just the skin mask need a new fixer flat in it. She kind of looking like that one chick. What's her name? I forgot her name. She kind of looked like her. Well, I tell you, I'll be forgetting names now because we done slid all. We done pulled these cars so much, man. I can't even tell who's who at this point. I really can't. Let's go. Let's go right here. Oh yeah, it just popped up in my head. Michelle Obama is starting to look like Maxine Waters. Yeah, they starting to look like See, Maxine Waters, she got them hard ass cheekbones, and y'all seen the before and after picture on the right. Let me pull this up. That was a hell of an episode. That was fun last night, man. We had a lot of fun last night with that. Yeah, but Michelle Obama, man, what they call Michael LeBar Robinson. Look, she looked like Maxine Waters. Look, ears extra big. What kind of ears are these? These are old white man ears, man. What the fuck? I know they say when you get old, your face don't your face keeps on growing. Your nose, your ears, it keeps on growing. That's what science says. But shit, her shit growing out and down. Gravity is a hell of a defect when it comes to her. Well, him and look at the lineup. Look at the shape. Look at the head. It's almost like she turning into one of these. It's almost like this right here. I'm gonna be honest with you. She don't look too swell at all. But let's get back into it. She got one of these on, all right, masked up. Oops, oops. What did I just do? Hold on, cause this is at 47. It's at 47 and 50 right now. It's at 47 and 50. And I just want to know what's the ramifications because it's going to be No Kings 2.0 when it passes. When it passes. Yes. So we just keeping an eye out on this. Now let me pull this up. So they installing these anti-barricades around the White House and the U.S. Treasury Department late at night. They gotta hurry up and do it at night. So when the night falls over the next day, everything's already set up for these guys. Guns already pointed, you know what I'm saying? All of that. And it would be crazy if, because I know it's gonna pop off. It might not pop off in DC, but it will pop off in a city, in a big large city, preferably New York. So you're gonna have people like this run around New York. And you don't know it's gonna be these people against the blacks. And if you white, you they go attack your ass too. So these people, they really don't like white people, and they really don't like black people. So it is what it is. But I heard they was trying to come to the rural area as well. So, and like I said before, they already took over a small town in Texas, and they're implementing that what is it called, that Shira law? They implementing that in their town. See, they're not going to want regular police in their town, y'all. They're not going to want that, y'all. They're going to want to be governed by their own people. But they already set up their synagogues. And the thing is, if you publicly talk about these people, you go get doxxed, man. Look at this shit, man. This happened in Louisville, Kentucky. Let me show you what happened. And I told y'all, man, y'all gotta chill out with this stuff because they, if you say something racist or something like anti-Semitic, man, you could lose your whole fucking job. You could lose your whole life behind what you say on this damn internet. I told you the internet always go win, y'all. Look at this stuff. Because when I pull this up, look at this, y'all. This happened in Louisville, Kentucky. So this black dude right here, look, look what happened. Check this out. This is Derek Sanders Jr., the 13-year-old who disappeared. He disappeared in the Ohio River. They found his body not too long ago. And this dude, Cody Hobbs, said, Derek Sanders, I didn't know you were missing and black. So he made a racist comment. I see this shit on Twitter all the time, but like I said before, man, if you go talk some racist stuff, you better have your whole account. You know what I'm saying? Just a whole parody account, because if you putting all your damn information, look, boom, North Bullitt High School, got all this shit, boom, married to Jessica Marie Hobbs. Put them on blast, y'all. Look, this shit happening in real time. Look, lives in Claremont. Boom, 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 boom. They got her doxxed, her and her husband. Boom, 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 boom. Look, certified medical man fucked up her whole fucked up her whole life. Yeah, And they've been tagging U of L of help all day in these posts. They go get that family fired, the whole family fired, y'all, over some racist comment. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, if her husband's saying it, she probably saying it too. And the thing is, you can't have racist people operating at a hospital because same with blacks. It doesn't happen before with lawsuits uh, because nurses don't like the skin complexion of certain patients. They end up putting, all they end up doing all kind of shit, giving you a whole cocktail. You know what I'm saying? Make your heart do the jumping jacks. Everything, everything you can imagine, it has been done in this damn medical field. And I said before, a lot of stuff has to do with social Darwinism, especially when it came out to the with the jab. Do y'all remember when they called black people nasty for not taking the jab? Yes, they did. I clearly they called black people nasty for not taking that shit. Now you're getting all kind of heart problems. Every color, every race getting heart problems. Why? Because you was disobedient to God. You didn't listen to God when He said, peace be still." You was in panic mode and fear mode, and guess what? You listen to the devil. That's what he personifies, fear. Yes, people are scared. People worship this god Pan. They call him Pan for a reason because he personifies pandemonium, panic. Yes, all of that. And he go by many names too. Moloch, El Shaddai, and they call him the horny goat for a reason because he deals with sexually deviant activity, y'all. Yes, there's a whole religious side to being deceived. A whole religious side to being deceived. This is where the Iraq money went to his people. All right, went to his people, and he's responsible for blowing up black people. Black people still voted for his ass. So it is what it is. We already know people are embedded in a sunken place. There's no hope for these people. The world has already reset. People still waiting to be raptured, but it has already taken place. And we can see it on our phone in real time. You see, this dude can see everything in real time. Man. Yeah, Stephen Hawking. He can see everything in real time. A lot of people go be like Stephen Hawking, yo. That's the end goal for you to end up like Stephen Hawking. Yo. They end up like Moloch. See, this is Stephen Hawkins right here. You see the wings? You see him sitting on his throne. This is wheelchair. This is your modern day Professor X. This deity Moloch is basically what's his name from X Men. I don't forgot his name. Magneto. He's basically Magneto because he draws attention there. This Moloch guy right here. He 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 basically uh prefers everybody to be drawn towards him or worship him. He's Magneto in the flesh, or what they call Iron Man, because this was during the Iron Ages when they forged heavy metals and golden calves, and it's the golden calf too, y'all. Let's see. Let's check out. I'm just giving y'all some insight on stuff. I'm knowledgeable on many topics. This is why we would never run out of content on this channel. I feel sorry for you hypocrite uh, content content creators like Candace Owens that only deals with surface level knowledge, y'all. And y'all been listening to her for years. Let's see what's up, what's going on. It's still 47:50. I'm about to just chill right quick, man. And we go wait on something. We just go wait and just chill. But yeah, this pretty much. When I get back, I'm gonna go in. I gotta go do something. So we just go chill out. All right, I'm out of here.
land distribution and wealth distribution and so on. This is never how it gets fixed. This is how you destroy a country. And when they've run out of things to steal from the white people, then, they try to create tribal divisions and turn people against each other. But it's really got nothing to do with the tribes themselves, because that's kind of like the states in America. The tribes can get along just fine. It's when people start killing one tribe and then going to the funeral and murdering people there, and they set off a cycle of violence and they make it appear to be tribal. But really what it is at its core is a Marxist globalist takeover.
And Joe Biden did the same thing. He gave the black farmers, the few that there are in the country, a huge discount on things and sort of vilified the white farmers. I think that's still in effect. Hopefully we can level that out, because if you produce, you produce. It shouldn't matter what color you are. But I want you to move on to, there's just so much to talk about with you. Your take on Trump and Iran. Do they have the nukes? Are we waiting 2 weeks? Are we going to rush into another endless war? It's scary times we're living in right now.
Donna, I'm not really scared. I got to be honest with you. I don't think it's such scary times that we're living in. I think that there's a lot of hype in the media, and it's in part, number one, the United States is not going to show all their cards. Trump says that all the time. Well, number two, when you sit down at the negotiating table, you want to have the strongest possible hand. If you take off options from you, then when you sit down, your negotiating partner already knows that you're not serious about those things, and so you can't walk softly and carry a very big stick, right? And your stick is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. That's not how you win at the negotiating table. And at least the one thing that everybody can agree on with Trump is that he likes to win, right? And especially when it comes, to negotiations and the art of a deal and so on. So, and then, if you factor into that, the fact that they're just not going to go willy-nilly into nuclear warfare. This idea that we've spent decades and decades and decades, holding back and nuclear non-proliferation treaties and, and everything else, and that suddenly the gloves are off and everybody's just going to go nuclear. I mean, come on, that's crazy talk. That's not going to happen. Now, does that mean that you want Iran, the mullahs in Iran, who are the oldest state sponsor of terrorism across the world, who fund Hamas, who fund the Houthis in Yemen, who fund Hezbollah in Lebanon, and many others, Kataib Hezbollah and others in Iraq, and across the Sahel, east to west Africa. Iran has its fingers everywhere. And of course, the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, they have units that the United States intelligence and intelligence groups have tracked crossing the southern border, who are armed with surface-to-air missiles. And then, Iran has had its fingers in certain people who were involved in assassination attempts. And on top of that, Iran is working with Venezuela. They're working, what has Venezuela done? Venezuela and the Mexican cartels between Tren de Aragua, Cartel del Sol, Sinaloa cartel, what have these people done? They've infiltrated the United States, thanks to the open border policies of Joe Biden that has gone off the charts in terms of scale. And they're in every American city and that across the country. So there is a real threat within that people perhaps don't understand sometimes, and maybe people haven't been honest about it. And so, the majority of the country doesn't quite realize how bad it is. But there are internal threats that the United States has to deal with. This is not just at a distance. It's not some country on the other side of the world that may or may not have a nuclear bomb. They have the ability to hurt the United States with intercontinental ballistic missiles that are close to reaching the eastern seaboard of this country, and also our strategic allies and partners across the Middle East, who, by the way, it's not just Israel. This idea that Israel just, they're evil because they have the Israeli lobby that is too powerful and they control the media, and, all of that sort of suggests that there's only a one-way relationship between the United States and Israel. And that's ridiculous for people to think that as well. Israel is and has been one of our most important strategic allies for intelligence. And I mean, look at what they've done. They've decimated Hamas, decimated Hezbollah, and the United States has been one of the main beneficiaries of that. And they haven't had to put a single American soldier on the front line. And I just want to say, who do you think is working with Israel behind the scenes against Iran? The Saudis are working with Israel. The Egyptians are working with Israel. The Jordanians are working with Israel. So this whole idea, the way people say, oh, this is the bad, these are the bad Jews, right? And they're dragging the United States into this war. No one is going to put boots on the ground. You know why? Because we've never used more than 10% of our advanced military capability in either Iraq or Afghanistan. You don't have to put boots on the ground to do what Donald Trump and the U.S. administration and Israel are talking about. Now, could you have clandestine people on the ground? Of course. That's a whole different component. But we're in a clandestine war. We're in a covert war in many respects. So we're already at war with Iran. And people who think we're not just don't understand the playing field. They don't understand that fifth and sixth generation warfare, and fifth generation is a war for the mind, and sixth generation is a war, for your soul, basically. And that war is already well underway.
It's very scary when you have an open border allowing millions to come in for 4 years, and Barack Obama sent $2 billion practically in cash to give them a good basis to get started years ago in the dead of night. And that's very scary. You got about 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. And Donna, I just want to point out one important thing. Those millions of people coming across the border, they are the cover for the real operation, right? Which is to insert terrorists and spies and hackers and through over 300,000 uniformed members of the People's Liberation Army of China and so on, right? The ordinary people are two things. One, they're a weapon system. You're using human beings as a weapon of invasion. And then two, they're a cover for all the other assets that you're inserting across the border underneath, including MS-13 and Tren de Aragua and Cartel del Sol and all of the other now terrorist organizations under this administration.
And you're not worried after what you just said? No, I'm worried.
Of course I'm not worried because we have God on our side.
Well, yes, that's true. And I don't think there's anybody else I'd rather have here on the ground than Donald Trump negotiating all this. I just saw it sort of as an Achilles heel. And I mentioned this on the morning show on Rab the other day because you got Trump saying, I don't want endless wars, but also Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. And I really saw that as a way to split MAGA. And that's what I want to get to when we come back on the other side of this break, is MAGA splitting. And what's with the FBI? I want to know where Radcliffe is with the CIA, quite honestly. It is a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that. But now you've got suddenly the CCP. They were involved in 2020, 20,000 ballots, which to me is a drop in the bucket. I'm sure there were millions. And then Hillary Clinton saying, well, if Trump had Russia, we should have the CCP help Joe Biden. I mean, the insanity of what takes 5 years to come out, 4 years to come out, J6, the same thing. All of it is just all this deep state garbage that we have to try to avoid and try to, wiggle out of, hopefully. We'll be back with more with Lara Logan right after this.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says This one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real, it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And I did this to my father. We were at home. So we applied it to his under eye bags. And let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view. And now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm. Please send me more." And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines.
And then, you know, they go in, they raid Mar-a-Lago because the National Archives asked them to. Come on. I mean, everybody knows what this is about. Rob, we've dealt with a 6-year-long fishing expedition. The amount of subpoenas that I've received personally, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of subpoenas. They've tried to do everything that they can to find anything on my father that they can use to, you know, against him politically. Their candidate is drowning right now. He's doing a horrible job. Everybody in this country thinks that the country is going in the wrong direction. The world is a total mess. And this to me is their Hail Mary. This to me is their one choice, you know, and it's sad. This isn't how America should work. You know, the FBI used to be regarded as an incredible agency, and the men and women of the FBI, meaning the people carrying guns and actually doing the work, they're great human beings, but they're weaponizing the hell out of these institutions, and everybody realizes it. They're not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes.
Understood. Eric Trump, thank you so much for the time tonight. We do appreciate it. We'll follow the story.
Have helped us transform neighborhoods, and the NFL bringing this event to the nation's capital will help us fill hotel rooms, our restaurants, and Americans from all 50 states will come to their nation's capital and enjoy our beautiful city and museum. So we're just delighted to be here, and we want to thank everybody for all the hard work to get here.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. President, thank you. We're honored to be here in the Oval Office, and to have you announce the 2027 NFL Draft is a special treat. So thank you for your support. Also, thank you for your support in the Commander's new stadium. We agree it's going to be a great site. We think it's going to be great for our fans here, and it's great to come back home. And so we're very excited about that. Josh is leading the way on our behalf, and the mayor, so we thank both of them for that. We also want to thank you because in the first term, you helped us get a Canadian trade deal, which we want to make sure we note again and make
Canada
sure you know.
does not like me too much. They gave a great American company a lot of money that you deserve.
Signature edition. And you barn party drummers rock. Every week you are so amazing, but we have to bring attention to one special barn party member, and that is Dana.
Never would have guessed.
Dana Webster from the Pacific Northwest does have his Cowboy Logic drumsticks. He might even have his Cowboy Logic pencils, but he's having a birthday. And his birthday, does that say July 29th?
July 29th.
I can't read it.
You got like over 2 months away.
I can't read it.
Oh.
But July 29th, mark that in your calendars, everybody, because it's Dana's birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday early, Dana. All right, let's get back to business with the beautiful and stellar and talented Lara Logan. And I have decided, ladies and gentlemen, after these two segments with Fiducia and Logan, that I am going to be the sign language person for this next segment here. So, and the thing is, I'm not a gender questionable sign language person,
which immediately wipes you off the map.
All right, so here we go. Here we go. I'm ready to go. You guys ready?
We are back, yes, with Lara Logan at Lara Logan on social media. LaraLogan.com is her website, and Going Rogue with Lara Logan is every Friday. What you got coming up? I know you had some very interesting. You had Tom Homan, I think, recently. I saw.
That's Tom Homan. That's Tom Homan.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Keep going.
Not Tom Homan, but I had Lee Zeldin.
Oh, Lee Zeldin, okay.
The Secretary of the, yeah.
But if you had Tom Homan.
You had Tom Homan. No, seriously, what you got coming up? And this is every Friday. You have your new Going Rogue with Lara Logan.
Yes. So one of the things I have coming up is a gentleman from the organization that exposed Dr. Fauci for doing his experiments on beagles. And I started, I was listening to him and a few other people testify at a hearing in Congress, and it just, it blew me away. That they're continuing to do experiments on animals, medical experiments, for no reason whatsoever. For 34 years, they've been feeding high blood pressure medication to dogs and making them run on treadmills until their hearts burst. And then, and for no reason, because there's zero benefit from 34 years of medical research for human beings. So, it seems like animal experimentation in medicine is sort of a repository for psychopaths and serial killers. And I am, I'm so outraged. I mean, I'm not one of those people that loves animals more than people, but I love animals as much as people, and I have a great love for both. So when I found out about this and what we're still doing to animals in the name of, science, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
So I'm having John Goodman on the show, and I am really looking forward to it.
They say that if you kill animals, that obviously later on in life, that sort of opens a door for a lot of people to have that serial killing mentality. And quite honestly, I remember years ago, you compared Anthony Fauci to Joseph Mengele and got blasted for that one. I mean, that to me is, and Fauci's still walking around. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Donna, I have one worse for you, okay? Because I did 2 parts on my show on satanic accelerationist cells and incels. And these are these dark networks that are basically satanic cults online. The accelerationists believe that by doing as much evil as possible, they can accelerate the decline of humanity, that humanity will collapse on itself under the weight of all this evil. The incels are these involuntary celibates who are, largely pedophiles, who don't believe that they can ever meet anyone in real life, and they live in the digital realm. And what do these groups have in common? They get kids to hurt themselves on camera, do self-harm, cut themselves all the way to the bone, carve people's names and symbols into their bodies and so on, and commit suicide on camera. But what do they do to train them? They get them to harm animals. So like I watched a video of them forcing a girl to bite off the head of her hamster and so on and so on. And where do they recruit from for these, mass shooters? They recruit from these groups, the Maniac Murder Cult, the 764 Network, and so on and so on. And so, you're not wrong about the animal torture and animal brutality has always been a sign, but now they're using it, they're cultivating this as a form of training for mass killers. The same way they use OnlyFans to train people for pornography, and they use pornography to train people, and especially kids, for child sex trafficking.
Sounds like some sick, twisted CIA op.
Yeah. And you know what? It's been going on for decades. They go to college campuses. They look for the biggest radicals. That's how they recruit them. And that's how we got Karen Bass in Los Angeles. She wasn't a DEI hire. They groomed her to be right up there for Los Angeles mayor. You know, in fact, your last Going Rogue show is with Russian collusion hoax Hans. I can't pronounce his last name. Maneke. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this.
Maneke.
Man. All right. So
you're going to get yourself in big trouble, Don.
He is.
You know,
he is.
I stay in trouble.
Yeah, he does. But there's never a dull moment.
We got a viewer named Linda that just sends me nasty emails every week. She hates, I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth.
But she writes him every week. All right. So Hillary Clinton actually, this video resurfaced on X recently that in 2020, she said, well, you know, since Trump has the Russian collusion hoax, we've got the CCP. And now all of a sudden, Kash Patel comes out and says, well, we had all these ballots. You know, anybody who's been following Jovan Hutton Pulitzer, quite honestly, knows what's going on. There's so many different ways they can steal. I mean, 20,000, quite honestly, is dropping the bucket. I mean, in my opinion, with Kamala
That's like
Harris,
a precinct.
with Kamala Harris, they're suddenly saying they've upped it now that she had actually 75 million votes after all. They kept counting for months. I mean, if we don't fix this, we're screwed. I know it's ridiculous.
Yeah, come on. I mean, one of the most important things that people don't talk about enough is what this means up and down the ballot. Right. You know, because it's not just in the presidential race where they're stealing. I spent about 2.5 years investigating election fraud and election integrity after the 2020 election. And when I started out, sure, I believed that the election had been stolen, but, you know, I was a little bit shocked because you know that people cheat, but I didn't understand how easy it was to steal a whole election once you introduce the machines. And of course, what I learned is that every single part of our election process is corrupted. Mm-hmm. So from the census, which gives excessive representation in Congress to sanctuary states who count the population, right? And you know that your representation in the House depends on your population size. So if you're counting all the illegal immigrants in your state and you're getting extra seats in the House because of that, I mean, your election is already corrupt. Mm-hmm. And then when you begin with all the dead people that are still registered, all the people double registered, all the kids that get registered in these automatic registration states, you get your license and now you're registered to vote.
Sir? Yes. I understand the boycott against Target, against DEI, yes. But why is the Rainbow Push Coalition supporting illegal aliens if illegal aliens disproportionately affect the black community jobs?
Say it one more time.
Why is the Rainbow Push Coalition supporting illegal aliens when illegal aliens disproportionately negatively affect the black community?
Yeah, that's not true.
It is true. They take jobs, right? But they take your jobs. Legal.
Let me offer.
Nothing?
Thank you so much for coming out today.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
This is the Rainbow Push Annual Conference.
I mean, if you want to support black jobs, you don't support illegal aliens coming in and undercutting black jobs. It doesn't make sense, though, right? I mean,
we got playing fields.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
So, the comedian, Christian comedian. Excuse me. Move on with Darius Brooks and uplifted by Jacayla.
No answer to the question, but that anybody involved with this,
free admission,
and I'll answer the question for you because it doesn't matter about black jobs. This is about raising money for their coalition. They don't actually do things to support the black community because if they did, they'd be working to stop.
We went to 1,600 houses knocking on doors.
Right.
We trained a whole bunch of volunteers. It took about 4 days.
Right.
We predicted that we'd find about 30% of the houses we knocked on would have at least one phantom voter. What that means is it says on the roll that John Smith lives at this address and that John Smith voted.
Right.
But then you go knock on the door and no John Smith lives there.
Right.
Okay, so wait a minute. That's a phantom voter.
So you were basically, this raised a flag.
Yep.
And then you said, well, I'm going to go out just to make sure I'm not going down a bad path. Let's find out if these people really exist or not.
Exactly.
Your theory, though, proved right. 30% did not exist.
It's 32.
Or 32%.
But we predicted 30 and we found 32. So that's really good. So this is not just theoretical.
So that made you go, I'm going all in. I'm going to look at this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And absolutely. In every precinct, you can show too. Like, for example, in this precinct, this is by age. And this is, I'm sorry, this is by age and how many people in this particular precinct. This just happens to be one from Ohio. You notice that this is the number of people that are registered by age, this blue curve, and then this is the number of ballots you have by age. So if you needed some more ballots, if you needed to, because you wanted to swing one of the down ballot elections, like there's some judge you want to win, you just have to go along and find out, well, gee, I've got a few more voters here. Let's go look and see who never votes, and let's print a ballot for them and turn it in. It's a really simple thing. So that's an algorithm. Find the people that never vote, print ballots, turn the ballots in. They don't even know. So the only way to know an election, whether it's valid or not, is to actually confirm every mail-in ballot. You have to go say, did Mr. John Smith, does he really live here? Did he really print that ballot? And
so what is all these matching and stuff? You showed me before, we had a chart where they're taking the data. Can you show us what the machines did?
The fun thing about this, by the way, too, Mike, that I just love about it is you've done some really excellent forensic work on the one side of the.
Talking about Absolute Proof, the documentary we did, where we have the spyware and these American heroes that were whistleblowers and stuff that were there and that worked for the government and stuff, that former and present, that were there, and they were taking these footprints, these cyber footprints, the night of the election, actually from November 1st to the 5th. And we have all the IP addresses, the IDs of the computers. We have all this of the attacks. When I heard what you're going to see here, it just, it's just so amazing.
I was on the edge of my seat watching that.
You had no idea what your work was done, and you're going, wow, now you knew who did it, right?
Exactly. I can see. But the thing about it is, you're showing the incursions into the machines. But what do they do when they're there? They have to know what to do. That's what the algorithm is telling them what to do.
Let's see what you got.
Everything here, anybody can do.
You
can download it and confirm. So that's part of. So anyway, so here's the population. This is downloaded from the census. You can see the millennials and the baby boomers. And
What this is, it's just a graph of Hamilton County. And the age group of each one on the graph. So there's 10,000 or 11,000 people around 60 years of age.
Exactly.
All right.
This curve, this black curve, is from that voter database that I showed you a minute ago. This is how many people of each age are registered.
Okay. Now, that's impossible, correct?
Yes, and the look.
Everybody's registered, and then there's a little line here where there's more people registered than there are population.
How interesting!
Yeah,
and a little bit over here too.
Right.
But still, when I've shown this to political experts, they're all saying, "Doc, no, it can't be that much. There's supposed to be about 80%. No, this is like 95%.
95.
So that's the first.
That raised a flag with you.
That's the first red flag. Okay. That doesn't make sense. The red curve here. From the same voter database, these are the people who turned in ballots. Okay. And notice I didn't call them real voters because I don't think a lot of them are.
Don't think they aren't. You know they aren't.
I know they aren't. Now because if I'm a scientist going into it, I didn't know, but now I know.
Right. Let's make that clear. There's no room. This is 100%. We know machines did this.
Exactly.
Okay. So what you have here, you showed me before this, notice that the ballots turned in match the exact curves. The odds of that are impossible.
Oh, yes.
And then look at, I want everyone to look at this because this is going to come up. That little jump and that little flip. You know, it's the exact same pattern. All of a sudden, everyone, exact percentage gets turned in and votes. I mean, every age group.
It's ridiculous.
Right. Now with this, was that another flag?
Yes. If I just take the black curve and multiply it by 86%, that helps you to see that those little bumps and wiggles are just absolutely reproduced. It's just the odds of that happening in one county are ridiculously small. But guess what? They happen in every county.
Every county.
And it's this. And
did you do every county in Ohio?
All 88.
All 88 counties. And they were all the same pattern.
And I'll show you that pattern because it's even better than this. I call it the key. So if you think of it, you can think of that 86% number as the key that converts the registrations into the ballots. And so that's flag number two. Number two, that those are similar. Now, the thing is we don't have to just use one number. We could use a different proportion for every age. Okay?
Did they do that?
In other words, if you use a different proportion for every age, then you just have a little more sophisticated key. When I show you that key, you're going to be surprised.
Okay.
And because that's also some breadcrumbs as to the algorithm. If I use those proportions, then this is the ballots on top of the registrations.
But you set those proportions yourself
Yes.
just to see if there was duplicated across the state.
Yes, and that's why it doesn't quite agree here, because actually I'm using one set of proportions for the entire state.
Right.
I'm never changing.
You're
them.
not changing it.
No. And it's, think of it, it's 18 to 100, so that's 82 proportions. You put it in one time.
So what
never
you're
change it
saying
again.
is, what you're saying across the state, every single 70-year-old across the state was exactly this percentage.
Yes.
Exactly.
Every single county.
Every single age group was exactly like X percent of each age group voted.
Which, of course, is preposterous.
It's preposterous.
It's preposterous.
Right. Okay.
This is the shape of that key.
Okay.
This is the key that converts registrations to ballots. In other words, the proportion of 20-year-olds,
right,
or the proportion of 30-year-olds, or the proportion of 40. Right. And you look at that curve, that's a really smooth curve.
Right.
In fact, mathematicians recognize this. It's called a sixth-order polynomial. The beautiful thing about a sixth-order polynomial is you only need 6 numbers. So now I don't need 82 numbers anymore.
Right.
I just need 6 numbers and a turnout number, which would be a 7th number.
Right.
And I can predict every county in Ohio.
Right.
Now 6 numbers.
So what you're saying there, Dr.
Yes.
Frank? They're saying that they set this in the machine.
Yes.
Or set this beforehand.
Yes.
They set to see who was going to win, and they set this algorithm.
Yes.
Okay. These are the algorithms we've been telling you about.
So, for example, this is Stark County. It's
I want to show a few counties because what you got here, you guys remember that little flip. Every county, these are the ballots of people that voted.
Right, the red curve.
There's the registered.
Yep.
And there's the population.
Yes.
It doesn't follow that. It's impossible to have this same glitch
every time.
In every single county. And so far, it's been every single county you've done in the United States.
So far.
The same thing, the same machines, the same attacks, the same people, the same corruption that went on, the same crime against humanity was all across all the states.
There's an interesting thing. I'm going to go back to this key for a second, because this key works for every county in Ohio.
Right. Right.
If you step across the border into Pennsylvania, this key doesn't work anymore.
Really?
You change it just a little bit. Now that new key works in every county in Pennsylvania. Okay. So in other words, it proves that the algorithm works at the county level and at the state level,
and maybe even at the federal level.
Well, the federal level is how you decide the outcome of the election.
Right.
So you just so you choose the key you want for each
So
state.
you could even do this for down tickets.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And does everybody hear that? You can actually, all the down tickets were affected too.
Yes.
So
here's Ohio. So the population, registrations, and the red curve is the ballots. That shaded curve underneath,
right?
That's what I'm predicting based upon the key.
Oh, wow. So you already said here, without looking, you're going, here's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And it matched.
And you know how I did that? I ran 14 counties, took the average key, and then never changed it again. And it works in all 88.
All 88 counties.
And and by the way, there's this R number. R is a correlation coefficient, it's called. If R equals 1, it's a perfect correlation.
Right.
If it's -1, it's a perfect opposite correlation.
Right.
If R is 0, that means
to spread out false intel about J6
and Sean Gallagher.
Exactly.
And he was going to be the Capitol Police Chief, and they finally threw him out because they realized he was
he withheld intel. We've interviewed Antifa that were there. Yep. Luke Coffey probably knows who they are. And we interviewed them. We were told that there were at least 200 PCP laced cigarettes passed out on the west side to MAGA supporters. This kind of stuff.
Mr. Trump.